Hi YouTube, welcome back to my channel. So in this particular video, I just wanted to have a quick conversation about a true crime story that I saw on TV recently, and it left me just a little bit disturbed. So it is the case of a little girl by the name of Cherish Perrywinkle, 8 years old, from Jacksonville, Florida. So on June the 21st, 2013, around 6 p.m. in the evening, Cherish, her two younger sisters, and her mother went to the dollar store to buy a few things. The next day, Cherish was supposed to go on a plane trip from Florida to California to spend the summer with her father. So on this particular evening, she's at the dollar store with her mom and her two younger sisters, and her mother, Rain Periwinkle, notices that there's an older gentleman who's constantly staring at them, looking at them. And Rain Periwinkle thought that something wasn't right about him. She felt very uncomfortable, and she thought that this man was going to probably rob them. So she's at the register and she's attempting to pay for her items. For whatever reason, she wasn't able to pay for her items. And I think as they're walking out of the store, because she felt like this man was going to try to rob her, she tells Cherish to hide her money, I think in her purse or in whatever little bag she was carrying. So the man evidently knew that she had a problem paying for her items. He walks up to her and he says that his wife was supposed to meet him. No, first he mentioned that he had two little ones. And she kind of looked at him kind of, like doubtfully, like, because he looks significantly older, 50s, maybe 60s. And he's mentioning how he has two little ones. And he offers to help her with whatever she was trying to buy. He told her that he had a $150 Walmart gift card and that he was supposed to meet his wife at the Walmart where she was supposed to give him this gift card. So he was offering to allow her to use the gift card to get whatever she needed to get for her kids because she couldn't get it at the dollar store. So, like I said before, she kind of felt uneasy because he was staring her down. She thought that he was going to rob her. And instead of listening to those instincts in her, when he said that he had his wife was supposed to meet him at Walmart, she felt a little bit more at ease. And because he was offering to help her, she thought this was probably like a blessing in disguise. So she agrees to go with him because she didn't have a car. She agrees to go with him in his vehicle to Walmart. Now, his vehicle, from what it looked like and from what they described on the show, is what I would call like a Chester the Molester type of van. It was a white van, older model white van, and it had tinted windows. So automatically that would have creeped me out after seeing this van. But because he said that his wife was supposed to meet him at Walmart, the mother, Rain Periwinkle, must have felt a little bit more at ease, more comfortable with him because either because he was married and she thought maybe because he was a family man, or maybe because they're going there to meet another female, she didn't feel as threatened. I don't know, but for whatever reason, she felt comfortable enough to get inside of this creepy looking van with her three daughters. And she said that inside the van, the middle row of seats was completely missing. So it just had the driver's seat, the passenger seat, and the very back row of seats where her children were sitting. And the passenger seat itself was tilted back, and she described it as looking like a dentist chair. So as she sat on the passenger seat, she didn't even lean back in it, even though the chair was tilted back. She said that she sat up straight and she didn't feel comfortable leaning back on it. Okay, fine. So they get to Walmart. They go inside the store. They start looking around, shopping, getting the things that she needs. And she said that the whole time he's acting a little bit impatient. And so she says to him, aren't you going to get anything? Don't you want to get something as well? He ends up getting she thought it was water hose, but it turned out being a rope that he put in the cart. Now, they had surveillance video of her and her children and this particular man whose name turned out to be Donald James Smith. So there's surveillance video. You can see them shopping, putting things in the shopping cart. You see all of this. So at some point, now it's about 10 o'clock at night. Her children are getting antsy, they're hungry, they're getting impatient, and he offers to buy them something at McDonald's. For some crazy reason, she allows her oldest daughter, Cherish, to go with this man that she doesn't know to go to the McDonald's that's inside of Walmart to get something to eat. So her daughter asks her what she wanted, and I guess she said whatever she said. And then her daughter walks off with this Donald Smith guy to the McDonald's. Now, the mother said in her interview on this show that she felt okay as long as they were inside the store. Even though her daughter was no longer in her line of sight, she felt okay as long as they stayed inside the store. To me, that doesn't really make any sense, because even if they're inside the store, that doesn't mean that he can't harm her. He can take her into the bathroom and do something to her in the bathroom. But anyways, so she's assuming they're going to the McDonald's. I guess time went by. She decides to go to the McDonald's to meet them there, and they're not there. She can't find them anywhere. She asked the employee at the McDonald's if they had seen an older man with a little girl, and the employee, I guess, didn't see them, didn't remember, didn't say anything. I don't know. So then she ends up calling the police. The police show up. They look for the child. The child is gone. They don't see the child. They don't see him. They are gone, vanished into the night. So he ends up getting apprehended the next day. And eventually they do find the little girl. They find her body in a creek behind a church. And throughout the trial of the case, or through the investigation of the case, they come to find out that he had sexually assaulted her. He raped her and he killed her. And he attempted to hide her body in the creek by hiding her body like underneath these branches, and trying to put branches on top of her body so it wouldn't float back up. But I think eventually it did. So they found her body in this creek. And the whole time I'm just like, this woman had so many signs that this guy was up to no good, but she chose to ignore them and convinced herself that this was an angel as opposed to being the devil that he was. He was convicted. He got the death penalty. And as far as I know, he is still currently sitting on death row in Florida. He recently, his most recent appeal was denied, thank God. And he's still sitting on death row. This person, Donald Smith, had been in and out of jail since the 70s for 30 years, in and out of jail for molesting, raping, whatever, assaulting children, females, just a real disgusting human being. And the whole point, not the whole point of the show was to basically talk about how the justice system had failed Cherish Perrywinkle, because if only he would have been behind bars permanently for the crimes that he had committed against children, she would not have lost her life to him, which is true. But if it wasn't him, it probably would have been someone else, because the mother had these instincts that she chose to ignore. And I'm not blaming the mother. I'm not saying that her daughter is dead because of her, that it's her fault. No, ultimately it is Donald Smith's fault that this child is no longer living. But whenever a crime is committed, I think it's only natural for people to think, what could have been done to have prevented this? Either so that, you can be aware for your own safety if you come across something similar, on what you can do to save yourself, to protect yourself, or just to think about what could that person have done that would have resulted in a different outcome. And in this situation, I just don't see how, number one, she felt comfortable enough to get inside this van with her children, with someone she didn't even know. You have no idea where this man could take you and your kids. You don't know him from a hill of beans. You have no idea who he is, what he's about, what he's thinking, nothing. This is just someone that you felt initially creeped out by when you first laid eyes on him at the Dollar General. But because he offered to supposedly help you with his Walmart gift card, all of a sudden you felt more comfortable with him. But I wouldn't, if it's just for clothes, I would have declined. Now, if it was something like, let's say for food, or if it was some type of an emergency, life, like something happened to your child and you need to get your child to safety, or if you haven't eaten, your kids are starving, you don't have any food in your home, and this person is offering to take you somewhere to get food, maybe I can sort of understand the desperation. But just to go to Walmart to buy clothes, there's no way I would have gotten into a stranger's van, Chester the molester van, to go to Walmart to buy clothes and take my three very small children with me. There is no way I would have done that, because once those doors are closed in that van, your life and your children's life are in his hands. Because what if he has the van rigged where you can't open the door? You know, I just didn't understand like how she could have gotten in that van with this stranger. And then when they were in Walmart and he offered to buy them food, fine. I would have been like, okay, thank you so much. Let's go to Walmart, girls. I mean, let's go to McDonald's, girls. Let's, put your stuff in the cart. We're going to McDonald's. And all of us would have gone to McDonald's. And then I would have waited for a taxi to take me home, because I would not get back in that van. And it was around 10 o'clock at night. There was no way I would have gotten back in that van at night. So then she allows her daughter to go to McDonald's with this guy. How could you have let your child out of your eyesight, walk off with a stranger? I just didn't understand that at all. I did not understand that at all. Now, I understand that, this is something that her as a mother, she will never get over. The pain will always be there. And I know that she herself probably thinks back of what she could have done differently. And I can only hope and pray that she can find some type of solace, some type of peace of mind, to help her cope with the pain. But I was just flabbergasted that she got into this van with a stranger with her children, and then flabbergasted again when she allowed her daughter to walk off with him to go get food from McDonald's. And then they show the surveillance camera of him and this little girl just walking through those automatic doors, or those sliding doors. They show the surveillance camera of them walking out into the night, and this little girl was never to be seen again until her body was found in that creek. It just broke my heart. It broke my heart. It broke my heart that this child was so trusting, that she walked out, it just walked out the store with this guy that she didn't even know. It just broke my heart. So yeah, that case was very disturbing to me, because I feel like it could have been prevented. There are some things that happen, horrible things that happen to people. That was like, there was nothing the victim could have done. There was nothing they could have done. But in this situation, if her mom only had not gotten into that van, if her mom only had not allowed her daughter to walk off with that man to get food from the McDonald's, if only she would have walked with her, if they all would have gone together to the McDonald's, and then after that called a taxi to go home. It's just so sad. So anyways, that's my video. And I don't know if I mentioned this, but he was convicted, and he got the death penalty. I think I did mention that. And he is still currently sitting on Florida's death row. Thank God for that. And yeah, so that's my video. Thank you so much for joining me. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will definitely talk to you later.